How do you stop feeling stuck in your life? I'm sure you're coming to this video because you've tried a lot of different things to get unstuck. Man, we have so many, right? Meditation, journaling, exercise. You should go see a therapist or work with a coach. Maybe you need to start your own business, start a new career. Maybe you need to do shamanic work and take some ayahuasca and travel to South America. Maybe you need to leave your partner. I mean, the list goes on and on and on for how we're supposed to get unstuck. But have you noticed that no matter what you try, whether it's some sort of technique that is supposed to change your internal environment or trying to change your external circumstances in certain ways, you still feel stuck. There's something in you that fundamentally still feels stuck. And it feels like no matter what you try, you keep defaulting back to this set point of feeling stuck. And then you'll notice, inevitably, this litany of negative emotions kick in and judgments that say, I really don't like being stuck. I really, really wish I could get unstuck. I really wish I could find a way that actually worked. Well, the reason I can probably probe into your mind in this way is that this was my exact experience for many, many years. I always felt like there was some faith I had that I could get unstuck, but I could never really figure out how to do it fundamentally. And in fact, it felt like my way of trying to get unstuck was actually making me more stuck. It's kind of like a feeling of quicksand, where the harder you try to get the result, the further away it is, the more you feel like you're sinking. So have you ever felt that before? Well, there's a particular kind of hellish hopelessness that creeps in from that one, because then you're left wondering what the hell to do. If your efforts to get unstuck are making you feel more stuck, how are you supposed to deal with that, and what do you do with that information? I think if a lot of us are honest with ourselves, that's where we end up in life, is feeling like not only are we stuck, but we're stuck feeling stuck. We're stuck not knowing what the solutions are to feeling stuck, which makes us feel even more stuck. So this is quite the conundrum, right? And a lot of us spend most of our lives in this place of just stagnation. Whether it's subtle or overt, we just feel like the energy is not moving. Positive momentum is not being gained in fundamental ways that are important to us in life. Maybe in one area of life it's all going fine, but in another one that's really important to you, it just feels all bottled up. So how do you fix this once and for all? Well, as you can imagine, from what I just laid out, I'm going to come at this from a quite different angle. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that the only real way to get unstuck in your life is to deeply examine who inside of you is getting stuck. And instead of following around the contents of your mind that is pointing you to where you're stuck and why you're stuck, and the judgments and the labels and the reactions and the emotions around that, that's all, in a sense, a distraction that locks in this kind of pattern. It's far more effective to really deeply examine who in here is stuck. Where is that coming from that's interpreting life in that way? So what you start to discover when you examine the nature of the one who's stuck is that being stuck is really an illusion. It feels real. It's designed to feel highly compelling, and it sucks us in based on all the emotions we feel around it and just how paralyzing it can be. But really, it's an illusion. You know, not getting the career upgrades you want, not having your ideal life partner, not having enough fun in life, not pursuing your talents enough. All of the ways we tell ourselves that we're stuck in this life, not having enough money, whatever it is. It's all energy. It's all like this highly compelling illusion that feels very real to us. And when you stop chasing the contents of your mind and getting distracted down a million different rabbit holes of why you're stuck and judging it and labeling it, this is all what you come up against, is the truth of what it really means to be stuck, and then what it would mean to be unstuck. What would that feel like? Well, who is in there getting stuck? Who is seeing life in that way? what you'll come to notice when you probe into that is it's nothing more than an automated program that is playing out in your mind that kicks out this highly compelling story that says, I'm stuck. And then there are judgments and labels we give it that solidify it and compound it. And then we feel like, oh, that's me in there doing that. That's me in there that feels stuck. That's I. That's the separate self I call Bob or Sue or Kevin or whoever it is. That's me feeling stuck. That is all an illusion. It's like this very seductive magic trick. So when you start to get into a truthful relationship with your life and who you really are, what you come to realize is your whole life is like a story. And being stuck in your human life is an integral part of the story. It's a needed part of the story. If everything was just flowing and everything felt fine and you always got what you wanted, the story would lack tension in a positive way. The story would lack friction in a way that moves it forward. So you being stuck is actually a necessary component of your reality. We all have to feel that way, like our back's against the wall, nothing's working, it feels insurmountable. Look at any good movie or book. The main character almost always has to go through these feelings of hopelessness, stagnation, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. And so that's your life. That's your life, really. It's just drawn out more over a longer period of time of feeling like this than a 2-hour movie. But in a very real sense, that's what you're up against. Is your life is very much like a story unfolding where the whole point is for you to transition from the victim to the hero. And you could say that getting unstuck is the pathway into the heroic version of yourself. What that means is getting into a truthful relationship with who you really are. It's living in what I would call your essence, your essential nature, which is free from all of the layers of conditioning, fear, limited beliefs, distortions in your way of seeing that are the real basis of you feeling stuck. So to get unstuck is all about kind of purging your internal environment of these corrupted files that make you feel limited, that make you feel like being stuck is a real thing that is bad. And a great way to do that is to just notice when you feel stuck and the judgments that kick in, the reactivity, this is bad, I don't want this, the resistance, that's where you want to really explore this. And like, can you neutralize the power that that reactive negative energy has over you? Because when you feel stuck, that's a neutral experience. It's just there's an energy of, oh, I feel stuck. Okay. But then there's this litany of, this is really bad. I don't want to feel stuck. Being stuck sucks. That's what you want to lean into here and get into a truthful relationship with, where you can reclaim your power from the negative labels and judgments that you layer on over your experience. So if you just accept that being stuck is where you're at right now, and you deeply surrender to it, because that is where you're at, and life never makes mistakes. If you're stuck right now, in a very clear way, and I want you to hear me on this, that's what was meant to happen in your unique story. Up until now, you being stuck is exactly what was meant to happen. Otherwise, things would have unfolded differently. And realize that you being stuck in the way that you are up until this very moment is all integral to the unfolding of your story. It's all highly relevant to you becoming the heroic version of yourself. And yes, it has to look really bad sometimes. It has to be really chronic and take years sometimes and just test you in every way. Because when you actually have the breakthrough and you get unstuck, the triumphant energy that you get to experience is so delicious as a direct byproduct of how much you had to suffer feeling stuck. So all of this is by design. And when you realize it's by design from an intelligent place, that's what helps you to clear out all the judgments towards yourself, all the harsh energy you direct at yourself that solidifies the feeling of being stuck. It's just giving it a lot of breathing room and space so you can see that what's showing up in your reality now, no matter how bad, quote unquote, it feels, how stuck you are, it's there by design. That's how you neutralize its power over you. And that's how you remove the stigma and the trauma of being in a cycle of perpetual stuckness. You get into a truthful relationship with who you really are in relation to the stuckness. And you reclaim your spiritual and emotional power by seeing that you are truly this intelligent life source, not a separate, fragmented self. And you came here to play this fun game of pretending like you're limited, pretending like you're stuck during your little human stay, and then learning how to get in a truthful relationship with yourself, reclaim your power, and feel the celebratory, triumphant energy of getting unstuck. All of that comes just through seeing it clearly, seeing the nature of the game that you're playing as a human. Every other way is more or less like a Band-Aid. It leads to temporary results. What you want is a permanent kind of healing, amelioration of the stuck energy. And that's all about seeing it clearly in the light of conscious awareness. From there, you can definitely play with your imagination. And once you've surrendered the resistance to being stuck, start to imagine yourself being unstuck. Who are you if you're unstuck? How would that feel? Get acquainted with it. But that can only come through surrender and being in that truthful relationship with yourself. That's what activates the power of your imagination. So start to play around with, and I use the word play carefully there. It's playful energy because you're not attached. Who would I be if I was unstuck? How would it feel to be unattached? How would it feel to just go through my life in this kind of subtle flow state most of the time? And the areas of my life that I feel the most stuck, how would it feel to give that energy back to the universe, to just liberate myself of that feeling state? Because I know it's not who I really am. It's just a frequency of energy that feels real. It's intense, it's very zoomed in, but it's all an illusion. It's all by design, and it's all play. It's all playful. So you can inject so much space into your way of seeing this, and that's what frees you up. Once you're completely and totally cool in your heart with being stuck, you're no longer stuck. It's really the resistance you have to being stuck, the judgments you have towards yourself for being stuck, that are keeping the cycle of stuckness intact. So the only real way to clear those judgments is to be in a truthful relationship with who you really are. Your limits are an illusion. The stuckness is an illusion. You are an infinite being who came here to have this human experience, and being stuck is integral to your story. And now that you know that, you can start to reclaim power and evolve into the heroic version of yourself in your own unique story. Doesn't that sound more interesting and more constructive than just, I'm a separate self over here and my life sucks because I'm always stuck and I always keep repeating the same damn patterns and it really sucks? Can you see that? You've probably spent most of your life there, and a lot of people do. Most people do. But there is a way out of that. There is a way out of that. But it's not going to come through the typical self-help band-aids that you've been taught. It comes from this deeper exploration of the truth of who you are, letting go of the small self, merging more and more with this infinite intelligence that is shaping itself into you and your life, and living your life from that place. So the truth is, you're never actually stuck. Your stuck energy is floating in a sea of infinite vitality, you could say, infinite movement, infinite creativity, infinite joy, like all the opposite qualities of stuckness. Your stagnation is floating in a sea of that all the time. It's just play. It's an illusion that you're actually stuck. And these words are just merely designed to plant a little seed inside of you that helps you to naturally realize this. You don't have to do anything per se. You're not going to technique your way there. You're just going to let these words kind of reverberate through consciousness, and they'll do what they do. There's a way that you can live your life naturally and flow downstream, flow with the current of existence. And it entirely comes from letting go. Letting go of your agendas, letting go of your past, letting go of all of the dark elements that comprise the small, separate, fragmented self. None of that is who you really are. Allow yourself to deeply appreciate even the energy of stagnation. It's a unique frequency of energy. And when you remove all the labels, it truly is neither good nor bad. It's not here to punish you. It's not here due to bad karma. It's just a frequency of energy that feels known and familiar. So allow that frequency to be there with zero resistance to it. And through this place of acceptance, ironically, that's in essence what makes it go away. You can only love these patterns to death. You can't resist them to death. So listen to this multiple times if needed. These words tend to hit you at increasingly deep levels the more you expose yourself to them. There are layers to these kinds of teachings that are designed to become more known and unravel over time in a gradual way. And usually, hopefully for you, as it has been for me, it's a fairly delicious unfolding. It feels really good. And the more you glean insight into this and reclaim your power and align with who you really are, yeah, it has its own momentum in the background of your life. It's the true nature of getting unstuck. So allow these words to just ripple through one final time. Feel whatever relief and space is there in your body. You are okay right now. You're already whole. Being stuck is floating in a sea of perfection. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. I'll be making a lot of videos along these lines that are coming at these topics from a hopefully deeper, more powerful place than some of what you hear out there. And look forward to connecting with you soon in the next video. Thanks.